A government contractor has confirmed that they will not carry out lock-change evictions on Glasgow's asylum population following a landmark legal judgment earlier this week. The Mears Group have reiterated that they have no intention of using the inhumane tactic to remove refugees from homes across the city. Previous contract holders Serco have previously used lock changes as a method of removing asylum seekers with no recourse to public funds from properties. Mears took over the contract from Serco in September, with Serco retaining responsibility for hundreds of service users who were appeal rights exhausted and without active asylum claims. Now, the current contractor, who are said to be responsible for thousands of refugees across Glasgow, have said they intend to do things differently, standing firm with their pledge to carry out due process in the Scottish courts. A Mears spokesperson said, "Where an individual is refused asylum, we will follow the correct legal processes and Home Office requirements, respecting all rights of review and appeal. We would always hope to avoid a court order, as we believe there is a better way of supporting the service user. We will make sure that service users have access to advice and support from the Home Office's air contract provider Migrant Help to reach the best outcome, and we will notify the relevant local authority to enable the move-on process." It would not be appropriate for Mears to comment on arrangements prior to our involvement in the provision of accommodation to asylum seekers. This latest commitment comes after the Court of Session upheld an earlier judgment that asylum seekers could be removed from their homes without a legal challenge. In July 2018, Serco announced they would seek to remove asylum seekers from their homes using lock changes, with around 300 people affected. While many have now progressed their legal cases and moved under Mears' care or into permanent housing, Serco lost the contract to provide such housing, with around 150 people remain under their care until they can be removed. However, Mears say they will continue to avoid the use of lock changes under all circumstances, despite the court's decision. Mears' statement has been welcomed by charities supporting asylum seekers, who have long called for asylum seekers to be given the same legal protections as other tenants. Sheila Arthur, project manager at Asylum Seeker Housing Project, said, "We welcome that Mears have recently began seeking repossession orders from the Sheriff Court and hope that they will continue to do so despite the recent Court of Session judgment that suggests it is lawful to evict asylum seekers by changing their locks when they are not home." However, some groups say concerns remain over how Mears' strategy develop further into their co. For more on this story, visit the news article link.